Alright. Hello everyone. Forgot that the mic was muted for a second. Let's see if it works. Oh, okay. Hello everyone. No man, I'm already feeling stressed out because of this. Oh well, let's do this. Ugh. So I already have compiled the new mod update, but for now it's not released. It's probably still pretty buggy. This new update is probably not going to be a pretty big one. It's mainly just going to be a bug fix update, so it's nothing special. But I also wanted to quickly talk about some of the actual proper content updates while I'm also playing with the mods. So I changed the configs a bit, and I'm hoping that in the future those configs could be the basic default config instead of the current one. And I'm also hoping that in the future I could improve the single player experience, because it's actually, in my opinion, pretty bad of what it's currently at. And as for what I've been doing up until now, I've decided that in January I was going to take a break. Oh, for those who are wondering, the version is still going to be 1.7.10. So I've decided to take a break. Oh, great. It's a perfect island. But ugh, I can't speak. So I haven't been working on mods, but instead I've been working on other projects. I've been kind of getting more interested in software creation and game creation, so that's kind of what I've been putting more time into. But ever since February I've been starting to working on the mods again, except that for a few weeks I've gotten pretty sick, so I've had to take a break. So I haven't been really adding too many new contents. I can actually quickly check what I've been adding lately. I'm feeling a lot better now. My problem was with my ears. It's like they both had an infection, kind of. It happened in the past as well. It's actually pretty painful at the start, but after a few days it gets a lot better. For example, one of the few things which I've decided to finally fix, or at least hopefully fix, was Bunshin, so hopefully now They are not invisible. That's just basically one of the few fixes which I've done for Naruto C. Again, the focus was sadly mainly on Dragon Block C, but I'm hoping that in the future I can create more bigger contents for both of them. Oh, there it is. And I'm just going to pull up the Patreon post which I've made explaining some of the newer plans for the mods. So one of the few things which I plan to add in the next update is more NPCs from the Tournament of Power. Finally adding, well, let's say most of them, and make the newest update more playable for servers. And I've also planned to add a few nice to have features, such as a config to hopefully customize every single races, every single class on how their attribute is, well, I don't know what would be the proper way to describe it. So basically a unique multiplier for every single class, specifically for every single race. Blah. In the past, I also made a poll on Patreon so that people can vote which saga they want to be released next. Well, where did that damage come from? And the most voted saga was basically the regular Dragon Ball story, and after that comes Dragon Ball GT story and the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. But I kinda expected that because those aren't just simple movies, but a whole series. Oh, whoa. That's some pretty hard lag. I plan to add the mods to the CurseForge page, but the account which I've used last time didn't really work yet because they wanted to move it to another newer website, but they just never started to do that. And I always just decided to wait for those, but since they never done it, I never really uploaded the mods. Okay, so where can I put this? Maybe on that island? I want to release this update as soon as possible, so hopefully it won't take more than a few weeks. But everything that's remaining to be added to them is not bug fixes, but mainly a few nice to have larger features. And well, some fusion related bug fixes. Whoa, that's pretty fast. I've raised the speed of the Nimbus a bit too high. Why did I come up here? I came up here for no reason, probably. I never really played with the mods properly before, I only bug tested them, so This is a bit new for me as well. Okay. I wanted to use this as well. I made a quick texture pack to new textures which are changing in the future, but the only one which I've done for now is the portal. Well, I was thinking about adding potato fusion, but I don't know. Not too many people have been potatoes, so I'm just going to avoid that. Yes, I am Hungarian. Updating the mods to a new Forge version would take a really long time, so I doubt that that's going to be coming anytime soon. And to be honest, I would much rather just create a whole new mod from scratch than having to update these mods. They're just far too poorly created. Not because Jin was a bad programmer, but simply because they were created far too many years ago and he never really had the time to rewrite them. Now, I wanted to add a fusion dance animation, but even that is kind of poorly made, so I didn't want to spend too many weeks just simply adding an animation. Okay, once again, I don't know why I'm up here, so let's just have a look around what there is. It's a tiny island. Maybe that's a bigger one. I didn't make Dragon Block Super. That's a completely different mod from a completely different person. Oh yeah, I'm not too interested in creating more mods because that also takes a lot of time, and because I already don't have enough time to simply focus on Naruto C while also adding content to Dragon Block C, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be able to properly continue to create multiple mods at once. I even stopped working completely on the projects which I worked on January because I started to program again, so I'm not really good at working on multiple projects at once. The mod I like to focus most on is Dragon Block C, simply because I already have a lot of plans which I've also imagined how I would implement them. As for Naruto C, as I was going, I was figuring out how I would implement certain features, so it takes a lot more time. So it also is a lot more stressful when I'm trying to make it work. Well, there is already an Attack on Titan mod. I don't know how much content is in that one. I think there is quite a few Titans added. No, and this is just a test live stream, so there is even a chance that I'm just going to have to private it afterwards if I think that I've done a really, really poor job of making it even just a slightly bit interesting. And I already feel that I made a big mistake about adding a background music which I am not able to hear, because it's really, really boring for me like this. Nope, that was my chair. I don't know if I can change the angle of key attacks, but what I've instead added in the past was the ability to make them transparent here. So you can turn it down and just make the attacks more transparent. Although that doesn't work in the old /3D rendering, it's only for the 2D versions. If you really want to change the angles of the attacks, then you can use the shoulder surfing mod. I don't know if it's still available for downloading, but I have a 1.7.10 version for the mod. Okay. I don't think that I will add new key blasts which you can spam more than the barrage or breach, which I've added not too long ago, or I guess it's been quite a while ago. I'm not sure if I'm going to add more evil teachers. I've been thinking about it, but when I saw that Cell was the one who actually taught you a lot of the skills, I thought that it made kind of sense since he is basically a combination of most of the Z fighters. But yeah, I probably really want to add more masters, but I also really want to just simply make them more interesting in general. Nothing really is new at the moment. This is basically just a bug fix update to make the last updates more playable for servers. The update is probably going to be released in a few weeks, hopefully. If everything goes to plans, well, I probably would guess that it's not going to go as I planned it. So maybe let's give it 1 month at tops. Oh, hello. Whoa, where did that come from? Oh, here you go. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that. So, one of the spoilers which I made on Patreon was talking about some of the more future plans for the projects. And basically what I plan to do is so after this bug fix update, I plan to release finally a new content update for Dragon Block C, which is going to be race related. So you can try to take a guess which new race is going to be added. For now, I sadly can't really give any spoilers related to that. I want to keep it a secret for now. And I also want to work on Naruto C contents. And to give you a basic idea of what I want to add, I've made a old spoiler. Well, it's not really a spoiler, a devlog for Naruto C, which basically contained most of the main plans which I want to add. And people could vote for them. And I don't know where I put that. Let me find it quickly. Okay, so what people mainly voted for are Jinchurikis first, then Sharingan, then more clans with unique traits, then Sage Mode, and finally Tail Beasts. Hello. So I don't really know what I want to do in this little playthrough, because I haven't really made any plans related to that, but I really should have. I should have made more plans. There are no plans on when any update is going to be released. Caps for transformations aren't really that simple to be raised, because if I simply raise the max amount of number people can enter in the configs, then they're just simply not going to work. So I first would need to fix that, which is going to be a lot more intense than I would want it to be. It would probably take a few months to fix every bug related to it, and they would probably just be released quite buggy. But the main reason why I don't want to do this is because I usually get a lot of bug reports which are simply just from people who enter far too high numbers, and I kind of want to have less of those. Now I was thinking about adding a new destroyed future dimension, but when I was trying to come up with how that would work, I just made the idea more and more complex, and at the end I just decided that it's far too complex to add it the way I wanted to make it. So I just left that idea for now. Maybe I just add a new dimension which would be called Future Dimension, and people could freely create anything they want in it, in, for example, servers. And the story mode you can enter biome requirements in the story mode, so then they could make certain missions which are only playable in the future dimension. Okay, so what is around here? Let's go that way. No, wait. I have a Nimbus. Eh. I can't aim at all. Whoa. No. That way. Oh, there's a temple. Man, these chests are so empty, I feel like somebody already looted them before me. Okay, so... Yeah. Nope. There we go. Mui Super Saiyan 7 Kaioken 150 Ultra Instinct God Form times 50. I've been thinking about adding that form in the next update, but I'm not really sure. I kind of feel like it's going to be just a teeny bit overpowered. Oh, there's a village. Let's go check out the village. Another problem with simply updating the mods to a newer version is the question to which mod, which Forge version I should update. Because I could update to 1.12.2, but I could also update to the newest Forge version. Now that's not a small decision to make, because if I were to update the mods to 1.12.2, then I would need to completely rewrite most of the code. But if I were to update the mods to the newest version, I would need to rewrite them once again. But if I only update to the latest version, then I only need to rewrite it once. And those rewrites would take probably months, if not even a year. Because I would probably just simply write the whole mod from scratch again. Okay, I will need to build a place to stay. Let's see. Well, I guess I will be here. I may have walked a bit too far away from the Kami's tower. No, I don't think that there would be too much of a point for 1.8. This would probably depend on how many mods are already made for that specific version, but I think that 1.7.10 is far more common. I personally also kind of like the 1.9 combat update, but it would probably not be a good system for a Dragon Ball Z related mod. So I would probably just make it so that it doesn't work at all if I were to ever update the mod. So what do we have here? Okay. In my opinion, probably the best idea would be to update to the newest version, because by the time I would update it to 1.12, it might be even so long that 1.12 becomes the new 1.7.10. Now this update is mainly just bug fixes for the latest version, which is already released, so that servers can also use it properly. I'm not planning to add Super Saiyan 5 probably as a normal form. I would feel like that would kind of take away the point of the April Fool's update part. And as for the regular Dragon Ball story, I do plan to add it. The people have already voted for it on a poll on Patreon, and that's probably going to be what I focus on next time. I'm not really sure how I'm going to implement it. I'm not certain if it's going to be a side story or whatever it's called. Yeah, side story. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be a side story or if I'm just going to add it in the start of the saga system, because the saga system is actually connected to a lot of language file lines, so I would have to constantly rewrite those, and the translators would have to rewrite them as well, so they would probably just be side sagas. And also I would probably not be able to add the whole regular Dragon Ball story mode at once, because they do require a lot of models. It's not possible to update the mods to 1.12. I tried it and it was full of bugs. I actually never thought about making transformation time customizable, but I write it down. I'm not really making much progress in the game. I can't really focus on two things. I can already clearly see that. Yeah, it would take a lot less time to simply create a new mod from scratch. I do have a lot of plans on how that could work. I would probably make it, the moment I start working on it, very customizable. Because it's kind of annoying that right now I'm just simply adding more and more customizations to already existing systems. But it would be a lot easier to simply add customization to the features I'm adding at a specific time. I could probably add a config to make custom, no, can't speak. So I could probably add a config so that you don't lose legendary after death. I probably won't add a new transformation for Saints, for example, the Berserkers and Super Saiyan Rage. Well, maybe that would be added as a Half Saint special, but what I would much rather do is create a new system which would be a customizable Super Saiyan form, or maybe even customizable any form, depending on how complex the systems were made, or to be precise, how poorly they were created. And that would just make things a lot easier, because I would much rather work on a whole customization system for them than adding them one by one, even though that would take far less time. But I'm pretty sure that people would enjoy more customization a lot more, instead of me adding a single form. I will probably add a way to go up and down on forms. Not really sure yet when, but I do hope that I could add it. It's probably not going to be anytime soon, because it's I wouldn't say it's not that important, but I already have a few fixed plans for the next updates. Okay, so I've been not really making much progress here, haven't I? So let's have a look around. There's nothing to discover. Okay. I should probably make a bed. No, there's no point in making a bed. I should make a waypoint. Village. Yes. So what kind of a waypoint is this? Whoa. Let's see. How much does creating a key attack cost? 100. Imagine and Bio Android races would be pretty nice to have. One problem with both of them would be what kind of a unique ability they would have. Probably would be some sort of an absorption skill, but I would have to create it in a way where it's not pointless to use it, but it's not OP as well. For example, you join a server and one of your friends lets you absorb him, and he's already max level, for example, and you're just a complete beginner. So I would want to create something which avoids problems like those, but that would probably be far more complex than I expect it to be. So I'm not really sure on that yet. Yeah, androids, well... Oh, hello. Androids would also be something I want to add, but maybe giving them simply infinite key is not enough to give a reason for people to play with them. I'm not really getting much TP like this, so I'm going to have to train to wait. Okay. There. Oh, am I even going to be able to damage like this? I don't even know. I could have used concentration before. I also really want to change up how these minigames work, but I'm pretty sure that I could easily work months simply on updating this feature alone. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of zombies. No! Oh well. I wasn't the one who built it. I never really thought about how Zenkais could work because at the end of the day those are just simply OP. Oh, that's why they're not getting in. There's no staircase. Zenkais are just simply far too OP, and by the time I make them not OP, at that time they're just not going to be a Zenkai boost, it would be just a regular passive boost. I actually do want to add new planets, for example Kaioshin and Beerus's planet. But I don't want them to simply become like Planet Vegeta where there is no point in going to there. But maybe it's good enough if they simply exist even without any content. Yes, I actually do plan to add melee techniques to the game, for example, rush type techniques you usually find in other games. But that is also a whole new system, which I would categorize under nice to have rather than not an essential, so I'm not sure whenever I would rather focus on those or just simply instantly go to trying to update the mods to a newer version. I've been trying to add less nice to have features, which I think would be cool to have, and I want to sooner focus on simply updating the mods to a newer version. I'm not really sure how well that will go, but we'll see. Also, I want to start focusing more and more on other projects I've been working on. Stop teleporting away. Okay. Oh, I've been using turbo mode this whole time. I should have not done that. Okay. Oh, that's a lot more TP, which I expected to see. Okay, so I don't know how much TP I need for flying. Oh, hello? Exercise equipment when? Well, I'm not really sure about exercise equipments. I might add new features on how you can exercise, but I'm pretty sure that I could work on those for far too long. And they're also just nice to have, so I'm not really completely sure whenever I should actually focus on those or not. Ginyu's body swap is probably not going to be a feature simply because I don't want people to steal other players' bodies on servers. And if the cooldown for it would be very short, or if you're just simply copying his body, that would take away a lot from the skill itself. And at that point I might not even consider the time working on it completely worth it. In the past, Jin has thought about adding masters which you can fight together with, but the reason why he decided to not add that feature is because the AI in Minecraft is just very silly. They make basic mistakes, and it would probably not be a very good feature unless you create a completely new AI for it. I want to make better transformation animations, but the current animation system and most of the systems are created in a way so that it's not easy to change everything at once or improve the whole system. You have to go manually through things one by one, and it's not difficult to do that, to improve them like that, but it takes far longer. No, yeah, it's actually pretty silly how enemies currently fly. I understand why they were made that way, but I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't be too long to improve that itself. Although I never really looked into it, so I can't say that for certainty. I do plan to update the enemies themselves a lot, because one thing which I always liked was the Half-Life 1 mod, uh, Earth, Earth, Earth Special Forces, and in that you can basically summon a bot, which in my opinion is actually pretty good for an enemy, and that is something which I would want to have in Dragon Block C as well. Can I learn fly? Yeah, no, that's I'm not going to learn fly. Let's see. Con. Oh, I could have created a skill. Oh well. Let's go one up there. 44. I don't remember whenever if I finished the sentence which I started. Yeah, I actually plan to add a feature, a block to the mod, which is basically a loom, which would allow you to very easily create clothings instead of me having to manually add crafting recipes for each of them. Because I find it kind of annoying that you have to simply remember unique patterns for clothing, and instead I could easily just create a completely new block in which it would, for example, ask for a fabric. For example, if you have 5 fabrics, then you can basically make any kind of the Z Warrior clothes, and that's how I would want that feature to work, instead of having to make more crafting recipes for every single one. Yes, actually, there will be more races after this bug fix update. Or at least one more race, hopefully. I'm good at the moment. I haven't been doing too good in the few months, or to be precise, in the few years. But I've been getting better and better. Well, our chest's always so empty of loot. And when did I get the gold helmet? Okay. There. Oh, I play Terraria a lot. I have almost 600 hours in that game. It's basically the same for me as in Minecraft, where I can, even when I'm not in the mood for playing games, I could easily just start the game and start playing. Although I haven't played any big mods for Terraria. Namekian scratchy arms, well, that would be a bit more difficult to make, and also make it look decent. Where am I now? Okay, so there is no village nearby. Still going to look around. It would be nice to have more fusion options, for example, simple Namekian fusion, Potara, and also improve the current fusion system, but that's basically the first thing which I would probably do. The current system is, in my opinion, not very stable. There's a reason why by default it's disabled. It's actually pretty full of bugs. For example, you can actually try to reset your character while you're fused, and it's not going to work if you log out of the server which you're on and then log back in. Your character is not going to be resetted, but it makes it look like it worked. There will be probably side missions in the future. My plans for side missions are going to be the movies from the anime series. I don't really want to add any fan-made content to that, which, for example, I would create. I would much rather create the official movies and, I don't know, OVAs. I don't know if that's a proper way to say it. OVAs. if Dragon Ball has any. No blacksmith. Oh well. Does it have a library? No, that's not a library. Well, I should get my Nimbus. Instant transmission is actually something which I've wanted to add since the very beginning, but I'm not sure what would be the proper way. I don't think it would be complicated to add it. I would probably either make it in a way that you open, for example, a map, and then you can teleport to certain masters, or the place you're looking at, you could teleport there, but maybe you could only teleport if it's at a specific entity, and you would teleport behind it. Let's take some of this wheat. Middle mouse button doesn't copy the block. Okay, now it does. Oh, but I probably, if I implement instant transmission to masters, I also would implement a feature to disable it in the configs, because probably there are servers which would rather not have you teleport to the masters instantly. Well, number issues is something I've been thinking about a lot, and the way I wanted to fix it is by creating a long text instead of a number, and then that text could be basically endless, and that way you could use basically any scale number for it, for everything, but that would take far longer than I at first thought. And also it's a lot more complicated because I started creating a system for that, and at the end I basically gave up because it didn't work whatsoever. After that I did a little bit of googling, and it turns out that systems like those were already created by other people, but they weren't also completely the way I wanted it to work. I could probably also do some simple tricks to make larger numbers work, but that would probably result in a lot of simple small bugs here and there, so I'm not really sure when that would come out. One thing which I've been thinking about is, instead of constantly adding smaller nice to have features, I would instead dedicate a long time to simply fixing the mods up. For example, I'm very well aware that the mods are actually pretty heavy on servers, and that's probably something I can't completely fix because that's normal, but I do want to give more options for that so that people could decrease the lag. Yeah, I'm not really sure why 24 million is the cap. I never really looked into that specifically. I never really encountered it, to be honest, but I never really played with the mods besides testing them. How do I feel about Dragon Blocky? I mean, I looked at what it looks like, and I'm actually looking forward for it. It looks pretty nice. It's not really something I would probably play with, I don't play with Dragon C either, and I didn't play with it in the past. Well, I did play with it a tiny bit, but that was mainly just because I wanted to give small advice to Jin. He asked me on advice on certain features, for example, how the basic survival could be made better. So I played with the mods a little bit for that. Yes, there will be Jinchurikis in Naruto C. It's probably one of the features which I want to add first. Whoa, sorry. I don't know if that was loud or not. So Jinchurikis are something which I really want to add to Naruto C. I'm not really sure about the combat realm because well, it's been actually quite a while since then, probably a year, but at that time I wanted to add the option so that you can attack with both arms, and basically it didn't work at all, but it was probably also very poorly created. Right now I could probably create a far better system, but I'm not really sure about that yet. It would be nice to have it. Oh, there isn't really much to show in this version. I'm just playtesting whenever I encounter some bugs, because I haven't bug tested this update at all, basically. How do I feel about continuing the mods? I would say it's been getting less and less. How would I describe it? Less and less interesting, because as time goes on, working on the same content all the time is not really interesting at all. And I have really big plans on what I want to add to the mods, but I also know that the amount of time that it would take to add all of those features would basically take forever. So I know that I simply can't do that. One plan I really wanted to do is get a few people who work on the mods instead of me, and they would get paid for it, but it's basically impossible to make a decent amount of money by being a modder, because I can't just simply sell the mods, especially because they're an anime mod. And so I have to figure out a different way to make money from it. But it hasn't been doing, for example, the website hasn't been doing too well. It basically only allows itself to run rather than actually having any financial benefits. But I also don't just want others to work on the mods without getting paid. I'd much rather have people work on it for example, 4 hours a day, and getting paid for it properly. The new update, well, this bug fix update is definitely going to be released in March or February, or at least that's the main plan. As for the next update, I'm not really sure. That would probably be I don't want to add too many new things. I only want to focus on one main thing, But that one May thing is going to be a whole new race, so that's not going to be as easy as I probably want it. Yeah, I say that pretty often, as I noticed. Okay. 100. That's right. Nope, nope, nope. Wait, I can actually... Oh. Play the concentration. Nope. Yeah, I probably will work on Naruto C pretty soon, a lot more. I'm going to stop focusing on constantly adding multiple bigger time-consuming features to Dragon Block C alone, and just focus on Naruto C as well. And that would probably not take away too much time. So I'm really hoping that I can start working on both of them at once. Okay. You're just waiting for me. That's it's really kind of you. Oh, okay. Well, my main problem in Dragon Block C survival is one thing. I know that the game is supposed to feel like Minecraft, but it feels too much like Minecraft. I would, instead of having this story mode, I would much rather have the enemies give, for example, a notification in chat that the Saints are arriving, and then, for example, it would give you in a few minutes another notification of where they have landed, and then you would just simply go to those specific coordinates and just try to challenge them and maybe defeat them as well. Also, I would really want a lot more enemies to constantly be around you that aren't just simply basic Minecraft mobs, but I don't want to add too many so that the game doesn't feel like Minecraft at all. What I've been working on before I started working on the mods? Well, what I've originally have done is I was going to school to learn programming, and what I realized is that in school they don't really care about you. Every single school where they teach programming, they only teach the most very basic stuff, and they also teach you very important things, but you're not going to really remember any of the important things because a person who is only there for learning programming, they're not going to care about the more important things that you need to remember. For example, what a beta testing is and things like that. It's pretty boring. I don't care about those even now as well. But I've been going to school to learn programming. I've learned the most basics. And okay, here's another village. No, I've been to this village. Or have I? No, I haven't. And after that, I've decided that I'm going to go to the same school for 2 more years to decide on what I want to become in the future. And I decided that I wanted to become a game creator or an artist, mainly a game creator. But I'm also really interested in drawing. And I started working on a project which actually I've been working on lately as well, although not really. I've been working on creating libraries which in the future I can use for upcoming any projects. It doesn't matter whenever it's a game or an application. And but basically I spent all of my time working on that project in the past, and I'm actually really happy that I didn't have the chance to release it, because I've looked at it like a year ago on what the project was actually looking like, and it was so horribly programmed that I'm actually really happy that I didn't release it. And also I've tested it out on how fun the game was, and it was just not fun at all. It was horrible. If you want to become a mod maker as well, then I would probably just suggest that you should not expect anything big to come out of it. I would much rather do it to get a basic community together if I were to start from scratch, and think about what other future projects I want to do. Because one good example, for example, is Mr. Crayfish. He actually has a pretty big YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure that that's a lot more profitable than what he ever earned from mods. And if you want to continue working on whatever you like, then you really have to focus on how you would be able to make money from certain things. But I'm pretty sure that's obvious. Yes, actually, I really want to add the Broly movie as a side story soon. People have really voted for that on the Patreon. Although that depends whenever you're talking about the Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super Broly. What I'm referring to is the Dragon Ball Super one. I'm not really sure if I'm ever going to add, for example, the enemy Goku and characters like that to the story mode or side missions, but maybe if I add training missions, then they could be used for that. I haven't answered which race is going to be added. It's going to be a secret for now. I want it to be a surprise. I actually really want to make more videos, but because I know that everything I create at the moment is very poor quality, because I constantly need to improve them, and also is my English, I'm not satisfied with the quality of what I create, but I know that if I don't create anything, it's obviously not going to get any better as well. Okay, so why am I going this way? Let's see. Oh, here's Goku's house. Didn't even realize that it spawned. Yes, it did. I based the mods on the anime. I've watched the manga, but for some reason it kind of feels like it's a fan-made manga. Because it's not really the same as the anime. That's pretty normal because generally mangas aren't the same as the anime, but it's a lot more different than what I expected it to be. You know, the problem with being able to fight masters would be that the moment they spawn, their enemy counterpart, they would also instantly despawn because they have a safe zone around them. But maybe it would not be the wisest idea to make an exception that, for example, the Goku enemy can be in the safe zone and not despawn, because maybe then on servers they could abuse that system. You know, one dimension idea which I was thinking about whenever it would be a good idea or not is a mission dimension. And basically you could set a coordinate in this mission dimension for every single mission, and if you set a coordinate for it, then it would teleport you to that specific location, and that way you could create custom arenas with a map for the mission system. But I completely forgot about this one, so I'm just going to write it down now. I really need to gather more TP. That's going to take forever. Oh, I watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I was actually watching it while it was being created around, let's say, halfway. So I actually started watching it pretty early on, and I really loved it. You know, one weird thing about the arenas in the NORAM is that I actually never really encountered any issues with them. So that's why technically those bugs aren't fixed. Because I can't really know if I fixed it, if I can't recreate it by before I fix it. So I'm not sure if I was at that village yet. I think no. No, let's just use the Nimbus. Yes, the next update is mainly going to be bug fixes and very small additions. Look, can't get up. Here you go. If you want to learn how to install Dragon Bloxy on a server, just simply look up for tutorials on how to install Forge on a server, and they're also probably going to show you how to install mods separately. Custom forms will probably be added for Science, because I've been getting asked to add a lot of different forms, but honestly I'm not specifically interested in adding more Saiyan forms. Oh, hello. I'm not really sure if I'm ever going to add Tuffles or a Metal Arcosian. I would guess that a Metal Arcosian is more likely than Tuffles, but I don't consider them to be that unique. But in reality, humans are far less unique than them, so maybe. It depends on how long it takes to add a new race. I don't really want to add a specific unique way of only being able to give mechanical parts to Arcosians, because that's something which I could do to basically any form, and to make it unique to Arcosians would just be extra work. Okay, let's see. I think I triggered an Enderman. Okay, I have enough food. Let's cook some up. Oh wait, I never collected coal. No, well, let's use wood. this update is only going to be a fix for the last update. Or at least mainly. Oh, no. There are going to be a few new unique features, but I really just want to make this playable and not waste everyone's time. No, wait, I've been eating it for no reason. So let's talk about what I've already fixed with the mods. Which one's Dragon Block C? There we go. Let's remove Imagine and JRMCA, set alignment, alignment 100. Okay. Oh, time skip, that would be actually a pretty good thing. Oh, it would probably not be, although very nice looking. That could be actually, but it could be quite interesting. I can't believe I never thought about that one. I write it down. Okay, here we go. Well, lately I've been discussing on what I'm going to add to the new update. Let's say that I have a quote-unquote manager, basically somebody who I make decisions with, so that I don't make so that I make more proper decisions that's not just based on what I want. Okay, so what did I wanted to do? Okay, so first let's use let's reset the character, start new, create a new one, adult, same mail, okay, key, next, then see, ace, all max, DBC skill, set, no, which one was it? Give all, no, give. Okay, completely forgot what was the short code to give all of them. Oh wait, there. Let's level up good form and ultra instinct, super form. So let's see. So one of the things which I have added now is that you actually see if your health is not low enough for ultra instinct. Let's see, where's Kaioken? There. Let's unlearn these. There. Disable that, enable that. Oh no, let's just turn Super Saiyan first. Then Kaioken. Oh wait, first game mode 0. Oh no, wait, my health is already at 1. I kind of wanted to add the ability to have God of Destructions on the server, because it would probably not be very complicated. It could work similarly to the legendary status effect, where you could configure how many of them could exist, and they would maybe have a unique ability called Hakai, which they could, well, I wouldn't say destroy anything. I would have to probably add some very strong limitations to it, but it could be an interesting feature. Okay, let's see. What did I wanted to do? Ultra Instinct. That's what I wanted to do. Not that. Ultra Instinct. So one thing which I've done is I changed how the heat bar works. So I don't really have much time to show it because I didn't change the configs. Okay, I disabled numlock. There. So now depending on your alignment, it's going to change the color. Not sure if that's really interesting. Probably not. But I added it anyway. And oh no, my health is already up to max. What did I do? There. Down and Ultra Instinct. Okay. Another thing which I've done is I made it so that if you use the JRMC status effect and then give pain, no, set. You set pain 1 and then 0. And now the Ultra Instinct feature that you need to be in pain is now actually unlocked. So now I'm in complete Ultra Instinct even though the system is enabled. And one thing which I wanted to show is that now the tail and also the eyebrow, but I'm not in custom character, is finally also white. Don't know why I forgot those. So that's finally fixed. Also, I made some changes to the configs, but those are a bit more boring to write down. I also made some changes on how key explosions work, because I accidentally made them so that they depend on the damage of the key attack, but since the damage is incredibly big at this point, that's they're always going to be the same explosion level, which is going to be the limit of the config, which you set the maximum explosion range. And also for some people, if they disabled it, it's going to be pretty laggy. So what I've done, what it should have been in the first place, is that the explosion actually depends on the scale of the attack. I don't know whenever I would call it a feature so that you can use Ultra Instinct with a margin mark. For now, I didn't fix it yet. I'm not sure I think about it. it would be probably better if I just fix it. But it's a bug. Also, I added a config, which, if you use the skill fly, then probably you all know that you're constantly going downwards slowly. I added a config so that you basically almost completely disable this. And also, well, a simple way to show this is that I made it, which is also something that has a config, so that if you're flying and then you use the wave attack, you actually stop going downwards. I honestly don't know why you can only click 3 times in the V menu. There are a lot of bugs which I've gotten, which I never was able to recreate, so I can't even really figure out what this problem source could be. Also, what have I done? Oh yeah, I finally decided that the bands config, which is used by this client settings, I basically completely deleted the old system for it, and I'm just using a regular config file like the mods have been using in the past, which is probably going to be a very tiny bit slower, but it's probably not noticeable. So I should have made it that way in the past, but that will probably reduce the number of crashes by a lot because of this system. Yeah, I also made some other improvements to key attacks, but I didn't really write those down because they were very minor. But one thing which is a bit more interesting is that now key shields and key explosions have a far higher chance so that they can block attacks. Because in the past, what key attacks would do is they would just simply check what entities are around them, and they would go through them one by one, trying to attack them. But that's actually a problem, because that way they would attack players inside of a shield if they decided that they want to first attack the player. So now instead, they only going to go through shields at first, and then afterwards they're going to go try and attack players. Oh yeah, also, it didn't take a long time, but I also fixed so that the skill costs are finally not 0 again. And one thing which I've noticed is that even though I added a config to Ultra Instinct so that you can customize the dodge stamina cost, I actually completely removed the code for that before I released it while I was testing. So now that will finally get added, actually. Also, I made some slight changes to Ultra Instinct because I obviously made some mistakes on how, for example, the dodge rate is calculated if 2 people are in Ultra Instinct form. I also made a new config for Ultra Instinct so that you have currently in the already released version the skippable level config, but since some people considered it a bug that every single level was always checked if you meet the requirements, I've made a new config so that it would only check the latest levels requirements, and if you don't meet them, it's going to try and check for the levels below it, and that way it's going to try and see if you can enter any of the levels a lot more better. And also, what have I done? Oh yeah, it's not really a big one, but you can actually select whenever you want the NORAM's background color to be green or purple. Another small feature which I've changed is that if you spawn kill Super Saiyan, or oh wow, I can't believe I actually forgot her name. Let's see, Kefla or Kefla Super Saiyan, they're actually going to have green aura. And that's basically it. I haven't been really adding anything else. I only worked on the update for a few weeks because I've been sick at the start of February. But I can finally continue working on it. Hopefully it's going to be released in, well, let's say a few weeks, but as soon as possible. I only have around 5 things which I want to add, but every single one of those is going to take more time. Let's say, for example, 3 days for every single feature, if not more. Now I'm just simply trying to crash the game by simply playing around, because I've changed some of the more basic things, like for example how key attacks and punchings work very slightly. So just in case, I'm testing it around, because I never really tested the updates like this before. And obviously there have been many crashes because of these. To configure the mods, all you have to do is basically search for your Minecraft folder. The quick way to find it in Windows is to type in the %sign appdata %sign into the, well, let's call it search bar. I don't know what's the proper way to call it. Cortana. And if you press enter, then it's going to bring up a folder in which you're going to see at the very top a .minecraft folder. Then enter it, then enter the configs folder, and then there you will be able to completely customize every single mod that has configs. I don't really have a Mac, so I can't really do any tutorials related to that. I would guess that it's not that different from Windows. But I never really used a Mac before either, so I have basically no idea, because I really haven't been doing anything. But I went through basically everything which I've decided to change for the next update. Let's see. That's basically all I wanted to really talk about related to the updates. And luckily the game hasn't crashed at all. Let's see. Just going to quickly test if Naruto C can crash the game. And I think I end it afterwards, the stream. I won't add crafting recipes for all the clothes. Instead, what I want to do is add a new block which would basically replace that system and make it far easier to craft clothings and faster and simpler. It's not really crashing. It's nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I also changed the basic... No, what's that? I also changed the basic settings for ki and jutsu attacks so that instead of using the new 2D style for them, they all just basically use the normal old 3D one by default. But you can switch them right here in the client settings back. Let's see, so there. I never really had ninjas spawning before. Don't know why there's so many right now. Oh yeah, that's very tiny. Shouldn't be that tiny. Oh, I would have to change that. Why can't... Oh, there. Let's see how we increase it. There. I ruined it at the last one. Okay, that's really tiny. Well, I guess I have another bug to fix. Oh, there's a ton of features which I want to add or change in the mods. The only reason why I plan to not add many of them is because of lack of time. Sadly, working on mods isn't actually I don't know what would be the proper way to say it. Okay, luckily the game hasn't crashed. I only saw one bug with the size of the jutsus. It's always so tiny. Let's see, are waves as tiny as well? Oh no, not that one. This one. No, I don't know which one it is. Let's see. Unlearn that. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that's a more proper size. Oh, wait, I know why they're tiny. It's because I am tiny. That must be it. Let's create an adult. Chakra. JRMC. A set of max. We got TP. Then ninjutsu. Fire. Ball. First to 1%. Then 85. That's still small, as expected. No, yeah, no, that's the size. Oh no, it's a lot smaller than what it's supposed to be. Oh well. Well, at least it didn't crash, so that's good. I think that would be probably pretty easy to fix. Okay, that's pretty good. So I think I'm pretty much done showing everything from the next update. So as all of you can see, it's basically really just a few bug fixes and changes. And hopefully it's going to come out in a few weeks. Probably not. I would say, let's say for example, a month at best. But probably less. Let's see what I wanted to add to the next update. Still. Oh yeah, I actually talked about what I wanted to add in the next update. More TP cap in the next update. I'm not pretty sure if that would actually be work. Because I could increase the number easily, but whenever it's actually working properly afterwards would be questionable. Well, actually, it wouldn't be that simple to change the number either. Because there's probably multiple places where it's used. And Jin didn't connect usually all of those numbers to one specific code. So I would need to manually find every single one of them. But we'll see. I wrote it down for now. Alright. So I think I'm pretty much done showcasing everything. So I think that I'll be ending the stream here and now. I've really done a very poor job with playing the game while talking. I can see why people find it difficult now. But I had a really good time. I enjoyed talking to all of you. And I really hope that all of you will have a really good day. And a really great week. And I hope to see you next time. Let's hope that I'm going to be creating more videos in the close future. It actually freezed for me for a little while. Okay, so thanks for your time, and I hope to see you again the next time. Nope, that was the chair again.